Hello folks, Boss Ivanov here. Today's topic is what books you get in a truck driving school. As we discussed previously, first thing you get is the manual. That's called the Connected Commercial Driver's Manual. It will cover a lot of vehicles, but you're interested in the part that reflects to only tractor trailers. You can see here it covers a lot of vehicles on the page, but you're looking at tractor trailer, which will be a combination vehicle. Just to start with, of course, if you want to drive dollies, if you want to drive hazmat, if you want to drive buses, you can accomplish all of this. I'll be focusing on the portion in specifically for a tractor trailer. So this is the manual. It's about 115 pages. Majority of them you have to learn, and you can exclude a couple of chapters that they're not important for you, like regarding the buses, and we're talking about Class A professional driving license. This is not a Class B or a straight truck. It's a combination vehicle. The next book you get is very important. Safety regulations, or the federal regulation. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulation Handbook. That is, here you can see all these requirements, and whatever you have interest in, you can check it out. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulation Handbook. Very important. That's what you get to. And I think the most practical thing I got was Motor Carrier Road Atlas 2014. Now, we don't forget, we're driving our tractor trailers. You gotta watch for low clearance, for also roads which are not, tractor trailers are not allowed, and so forth, weight restrictions, weight limits. That's why you gotta plan your trip accordingly. And something interesting here, driver daily logbook. So while you're there in the school, you're gonna be logging up your hours, so you're gonna learn how the logbook works. So you have here, it has two copies, 2 pages. One is the original and one is the copy, and in the end you have a carbon copy here, which you can use to make the second copy. And you can use a small tool to make your adjustments there and mark your brakes and change of status. Okay, that's what you got. So we went over the book. So now you're starting the class, and as I said previously, I'm going to go over on some of the questions to get you familiar. That's the sheet, what it looks like. Import the numbers, and you have a multiple choice questions, and I make notes. Participate in class. Make sure you know what you're doing, and we have a diagrams on the brakes and stuff like that as well. So you gotta know the name of it, the name of the parts, and this is referring as a S-Cam air brake. We're gonna go over some of the questions so you know what you're dealing with. Do not think that you can go and wing the test. That's almost impossible. You gotta have to go through all these specific questions. There's specific numbers, a lot of numbers there you have to memorize. So we end up with homework, and after the school, I'll go home and just kind of read this for me and kind of try to memorize as it is. So with no particular order, I'm gonna get through some of the questions. For example, How much free play in the clutch? Answer is 2 inches. How much play in alternator belt? Answer is 3/4. Is it okay to use radial and bias ply tires together? Answer is false. You cannot use. Another question is, where must the ignition key be during the pre-trip inspection walk around? Answer is in your pocket. Okay, so there's a couple of questions I have here, and the most dreaded test out of it is the air brake test. Because the air brake test, you have to know the answers beforehand, and then when you have the actual test with the inspector, you have to perform this test, for real. So that's why you gotta warn it, because you have two parts. The first is the written part when you go to DMV, and the second is when you have your test with the DMV inspector, you have to perform the air brake test. I'm going to read some of the questions there as well. Um, you know, during the brake test portion of the pre-trip inspection, the maximum air loss rates are as follows. So we're talking about the combination unit or 18-wheeler, and the brakes off, foot on the floor. You should not have more than 3 pounds per minute of air loss. So how you do it? You have your watch, and you time it. Actually, you're looking for 1 minute, and you're looking your gauge if you really have more than 3 pounds per minute air loss. Next one, it's of course with brakes applied. So your foot is on a service brake. You should not have more than 4 pounds per minute air loss. These are the questions you gotta know. Another question is air pressure build-up rate. So at 1200 RPMs, from 85 psi to 100 psi on your gauge on the dashboard, the air pressure build-up rate should not take more than 45 seconds. You look in your watch, clock it up. Usually, I was on Truck International day cap. It built about 22 seconds. It varies truck by truck, manufacturer, year, and so forth. And but on that truck, it built it for 22 seconds. All right, folks. Now, this is what to expect on the written portion of your exam. Now we're going to continue with the series, and I'll get you familiar what to expect on the next portion, which we're going to go over some very interesting details, how to get your instruction permit in Connecticut so you can start driving, and how to actually do maneuvers and everything. So we're going to go on the field. I have some photos and some videos ready. It will be very exciting to go through this process together, and the road to successfully obtaining a professional Class A driving license. If you have any questions, and always you can leave comment, or you can just follow us on the channel, Waz Ivanov Alpha Team. Thank you.